Hi guys, so welcome to my live Sunday the 25th of October. So yeah, clocks went back. I noticed it was a little bit lighter this morning. As I'm an early bird, gotta be honest, I'm one of those people quite like the lights in the early morning, but recognise that the other side it's a little bit darker as well. So yeah, so welcome. It's really interesting actually. I reflected on some thoughts that I wanted to share for this evening's live, and I'm still going to share those. I've still got some sort of thoughts on that, and it was around reflecting on courage and how I've seen this show up in different ways, not just in my life, but I'm talking about what I see generally. And what I notice is that the more I've explored courage, the more I've found it means so many different things to different people. I mean, that's the piece that's really struck me right from the beginning. I think I had probably an idea of what I thought it was going to be and what it was about and what it meant to me. But actually having so many diverse conversations with so many different people, it's become more and more apparent that it is very, very different across the board. There are some themes, some connections, some similarities, but generally across the board, it's a fairly sort of diverse range of thoughts around it. And I was thinking earlier on about different things, and then I thought to myself, oh, do you know what? Actually, what I was thinking about and what I could share, as well as the other thoughts I had, that's quite, well, for me anyway, I felt that was quite courageous to sort of share. So I'm going to share something else off the cuff, so to speak, that I was thinking about earlier on before I share other things. And what struck me was I'd washed my hair, like I know, washed my hair, getting ready, put a different top on, made myself feel a little bit more, together, a little bit more presentable, whatever that means. And then I got thinking about the fact that actually, for me, this live, it's really interesting. Generally I try and do it every Sunday. And for me, it tends to motivate me to want to, look presentable. As I said, wash my hair, put a different top on, whatever, gives me energy. And then I was thinking about other things that I would have done previously, perhaps like, going out, meeting friends, going out with my partner to, I don't know, just a restaurant or a bar or whatever. Not every day of the week, but certainly, every couple of months or so. And that then got me thinking that actually, to be fair, well, since before the lockdown, I've not really gone out at all, as into restaurants or bars or anywhere in that sense, really. And thank you, Kelly. Oh, you look beautiful in the background, is very calming, thank you. And so then that struck me as to, well, what tends to motivate me? And I was thinking, actually, when I want to sort of look after myself, what I mean by, looking good and, put my makeup on a bit and a nice top or whatever, it does tend to be when I'm then going to be in other people's company. And often that would mean going out to a pub or a restaurant or whatever, but that hasn't really been on the radar. So it really became apparent to me that this live has become quite a key point for me, in fact more than I actually realised, in terms of me feeling motivated, lifting myself, being able to get my head in gear, present the thoughts that I want for people. And then what that then did, and this is the piece I'm going to share with you that I hadn't really written down about, was I put a different top on, and I remember thinking, oh, it looks okay, but I'm being quite honest and upfront, talking about, being courageous. I remember thinking, oh, definitely put on a couple of pounds since the lockdown. And that got me thinking about stuff because I was eating really healthy as well, actually, at the beginning of the lockdown. And so I was a bit struck by how come I've been putting on these pounds. But I suppose, if I'm really honest, I probably haven't been doing as much physical activity. And then I really thought way back to, I'm talking when I was like, primary, secondary school. And I remember thinking to myself, I can only talk as a female, okay, so I can't speak obviously for males out there. I know males may feel similar on some level or different on other levels. I can only speak for myself and some of the women that I know and I've had conversations with. And I remember getting to sort of early teens and sort of being conscious, like just look at different people. I went to a girls' school as well. I remember looking at other girls and thinking, oh, you noticed when, say for example, another girl had like bigger boobs or a better figure. You could see it quite clearly. And I always remember how when I looked at myself, I definitely had pretty much no boobs, very little. Didn't really have much of a shape, which I was a bit disappointed by, and I always felt like I never really had much of a bum either. Felt like my bum was quite flat. And then I remember about 15 or 16, one of my friends sort of going, oh man, try this, and it was like blue eyeliner. And bear in mind I've got green eyes, and the whole idea of, the phrase blue and green should never be seen. Well, not in this case actually, because I tried this blue eyeliner and all of a sudden it was like the world's opened up. Oh, it's made my eyes look more sparkly. And then I remember another occasion where my friend Julian, some other friends, Mandy, Cobbledicott and so on, had sort of created this great opportunity for me to go out with them in Birmingham. I was probably about 16, I think, 15, 16. And it was like a real, sort of alternative punk type place, and they spiked all my hair up and put little makeup on, and I felt really sort of different but really good. And I mean, Mum's not alive now, so it doesn't really matter, but she would have been mortified because basically she didn't know. Somehow, I don't know, when I look back I'm like, don't know how, because Mum was really strict. Somehow they got me to this club in Birmingham, got some photos somewhere, and felt, really good, just sort of, just being a bit different, look a bit different. And then I remember sort of about 17, 18, 19, sort of thinking, okay, you sort of notice you're getting a bit of attention, you look half okay. But the point I'm making is for me, I'd still look and go, oh, I'd still see, some of the things that perhaps I would wish were different or better, not quite, the way other people might look like. And then I remember travelling Europe with my friend Julie, and even then, gosh, it's in the summer months, you're not really wearing lots, or you're certainly wearing shorts and tops and stuff. I remember being quite sort of conscious of, not having much of a shape. Again, it was that thing about shape and not much in the way of like boobs. And then sort of early 20s, I remember doing my nursing, and meeting my friend Lorna, and we used to go out and stuff, and I think there was probably a year or two there where I sort of felt reasonably alright. I used to look and think, oh, I look okay. Never still thought I look, amazing, or the way other people would say stuff, but okay. And then sort of probably I'm really fast forwarding now, mid-30s, whatever. I remember having a moment of thinking, oh, put on a few pounds, and then sort of trying to lose a little bit. But it was interesting. It was almost like I remember being very conscious of, for me, the only way I can describe it is it wasn't okay to have said to anybody in my life that I was not okay with my body, if that makes sense. It wasn't, I'd have never turned around and said to somebody, oh, I've got an issue with my body, or, I'm not quite happy with X, Y and Z. I'd hear other people say it, but somehow it wasn't okay to say that. And then, as I said, I think I noticed for a couple of pounds, sort of late 30s, and then at some point separated from a husband, and noticed, and I think a lot of it was nervous anxiety, to be fair. When I look back and look at the photos, I was like, whoa, you know, you don't even realise how it happens. But I lost, I reckon, when I look at it, I must have lost about 2 stone, but I don't think I realised at the time. But it, you know, I was feeling stuff that I felt good in, and, you know, yeah, enjoying myself and what have you. And I suppose the point I'm sort of trying to make is, when I then, it's really strange place this is, and most women who probably, you know, of my age will see this. I'm 52, so I'll be 53 next year. So when you look back, right, so when you, for example, say in your, I don't know, 30s, late 30s, whatever, and you look back at photos of you in your 20s, you look at these pictures or photos, and I sort of would look and go, oh, okay, there was a sense of, oh, I actually look okay, I look all right. Well, I didn't feel like that then. And then, this goes on, by the way, and then sort of like in, say, 40s, late 40s, I'd look at photos in my 30s and go, oh, man, why were you, you know, what was you worried about? What were you bothered about or conscious about? Actually, you looked all right then. And then the time frame gets tighter, because I'm now 52 and I'm looking at photos of probably when I was even like, you know, late 40s, and going, well, actually, man, what were you worried about? You looked half okay then, you know. So I think it's really hard to explain this process. Perhaps some women out there will understand what I mean, but when you know, at the time when you're who you are and you're in a certain period in your life, you generally, I don't think you see yourself in the way perhaps you are or other people see you. And then when you sort of often look back in retrospect, it seems as the years go by, you're like, oh, okay, well, it wasn't that bad. Oh, no, it wasn't that bad. And it gets to the point where you're like, well, hang on, bloody hell, hold on a minute, you know, because years are going on. So I think in terms of that, you know, sharing that and being courageous in saying what I feel about it, which does feel quite big actually to say that, I think my advice, which I know will fall on deaf ears, because I'm sure many young women have heard this, and I would probably done the same, going, oh yeah, but you know what, seriously, if you're in your teens or your 20s or even your 30s, please claim, be happy and comfortable in your own skin and your own body, because it doesn't, you know, generally it will change as the years go on. And so any moment in that time where you are, particularly the younger you are, actually it's like, really enjoy it, celebrate it, you know. That's the wonderful time where you're gonna, like, you're young, you know, you're gonna look sort of fairly young in your body and so on. So that's my first sort of sharing about courage. My second piece was, I don't know if anybody else has been watching this. There's a programme called Surgeons at the Edge of Life. I mentioned it before on BBC. I'm just looking at what Kelly's saying. Summer Who was out the other day had a book given to her called Strong is the New Beautiful. It's based on everything other than looks. Today's world of Instagrammable models gives you the wrong message to our young girls. They aspire to be like these people, which is wrong. It's unachievable. People need to look within, like with you. That's where the real true beauty lies, in your soul, Cal, and your person and how you come across. Strong is the new beautiful. Really, it's all right. I felt really quite moved then when I read that. Yeah, thank you. It's really touching, and I really do hope that she really takes that on board, because that's an amazing, wonderful message for her to believe in. That's really lovely. So there's a programme I've been watching called Surgeons at the Edge of Life on BBC. If you've not seen it before, have a look at it. And a surgeon was performing a life-changing operation to build a patient's pelvis. And basically, his pelvis, he'd got cancer in the pelvis and the hip bone. And so he couldn't do, at that point in time, surgery for the hips because it would have just crumbled. So this surgery was to take away the ball joint in the hip, loads of cancer in the pelvic area, and then they were putting in a metal support piece so that the support itself would actually enable the person to then be able to have the hip, operations to sort of live, a more fulfilling life. Bear in mind, I mean, this guy was still he was in his mid-70s, but he'd lived life to its full, and he basically said, I'd rather take the risk, even though they were quite high risk, because the other alternative is to be bedridden, and that's not what he wanted at all. And so what really, the moment that struck me, and it was really surprising, was when the surgeon himself said, people see him, the surgeon, as the courageous one for taking the risks and pioneering areas of work that have never been done before. And that's true. I mean, the stuff he's doing is amazing. And yet this surgeon said he felt it was the patient who'd showed courage, the courage to place their life in the surgeon's hands, knowing how high risk it was, the courage to be at the forefront of enabling and paving the way for other surgeries, the courage for their, mortality to really be sort of looked at and to also show their vulnerability. And the surgeon acknowledged that with each operation they learnt more and they developed more. But so the surgeon basically saw that what the patient was doing was an amazing legacy to pave the way for others, to go forward in the same way. And I suppose when you think about it, it's like, even now we don't probably think, to get to the point where we have in our lifetime and history, all the amazing, pioneering surgery that has happened and is still happening. It has to start somewhere, and it has to start with people who are open to that. And this guy was, and it was just, I just found it really quite inspiring that most people would go, oh, the surgeon on the face of it, was the one who had the courage to do the surgery, which was really quite amazing and intricate and, a lot of responsibility. But it was really amazing to hear the surgeon say that it was actually the patient, that he saw as the most courageous person in all of that. So that was one of my other examples of courage. The other one is it's a family member, and in fact, I mean, some of you will know, so I could pretend, but it doesn't matter. I'm not sharing something with you that's personal, that is private or you don't already know. It's actually one of my brothers who set up their own business, but they've set up their own property and maintenance business, basically in the lockdown. Now, I remember when I set up my own, sort of therapy and training and coaching business years ago now. And yes, it was, challenging. Yes, it was difficult at times. Yes, it was hard work. Yes, you were the pioneer knocking on the doors. And you know what? Coaching and therapy, honestly, it's not the easiest thing to share with people about what it's about, how it can help. It gets easier as you learn more about how to do that, but it's not as easy as, say, for example, a trade. So, for example, my brother, where you can turn around and go, I do this with gardening, or I can do this with paint and decorating, or I could do this with creating, like a planter in your garden, and or I can put your fence panels up. But still, at the end of the day, he has gone from making a decision to take his own business on board in the height of the pandemic, and he was offered redundancy, and he was going through that sort of quite difficult process, but he gave up the security of a wage each month, because he felt that he wasn't fulfilled and hadn't been for many years in the job he was doing. He could see that the type of work was, he didn't really have a lot of future in it. And also, through the redundancy consultation, basically he was actually offered pretty much the same sort of job, but majorly less money, and believe it or not, to take on more responsibility for more people, more hours. And I know a lot of you are going to be going, well, yeah, we've been there, we've done it, we know that scenario. But it takes a lot of courage, I think, for somebody to turn around and know that the soul and the heart is just feeling destroyed, actually. And they turn around and they go, do you know what? No, I'm worth more than this. Enough's enough. And so that's basically what, my brother did. And so what I would say is it takes courage, right, to put yourself out there in a local community, sharing about your work and your business, knowing that you may not get the work from your efforts. It can feel disheartening, and I'm talking about myself just as much as other people I know, including my brother. You put your energy and your effort into it, and you don't always see immediate results. Kelly actually responded. In fact, it's just come into my head actually as I'm sharing this, Kelly. I was remembering that I know, when you work massively. I mean, you're a hard worker anyway. I think there's a bit of a theme in our family, which is hard work. But I remember when you were, doing your sort of recruitment business, and yeah, I know that you would agree with it. It's hard, it's hard slog, it's hard going. And so I've sort of put here about it can be hard to have immediate results, or you put in the time. I mean, time and effort, which people do, and Dean's certainly done. You create a proposal based on what someone has said they're interested in, and that takes time. And then they may change their mind. Happens, or worse, they don't come back and give you a response. Now, I understand, I do, on so many levels, why some people feel uncomfortable or not assertive enough to be able to come back and say to people, do you know what? Oh, not sure actually now, don't agree, with perhaps your pricing, or I've changed my mind, or thank you but no thank you. Then, if you can at least say that, you'd still be able to give the other person on the other end a little bit of feedback. And also, they'd be able to go, okay, do you know what? I've got respect for myself and you as well. Okay, I get it, yeah, I'm a bit disappointed, you don't want to do the work, or you don't want the work, but that's absolutely fine. But I think that piece when, people may leave people just not even knowing or not even come back when they've had those conversations can be really soul destroying. So I really would say, to anybody out there, if you are in that situation and somebody does give you feedback and information on, what something might charge or some work that you're asking for, and then you may change your mind for all sorts of reasons, please, please, please be honest and just tell them, because it does make quite a difference. Or yeah, as Kelly's just put, they don't pay. Well, yeah, that's what I'd probably call one of the worst case scenarios, really, Cal, definitely. So at times like this, it's important to remember though why a person would make a decision, particularly in the current situation, to take on your own business. So for example, they might not be fulfilled in the previous work they've been doing, maybe for a number of years. It maybe they've been offered a different package to stay, as I mentioned, through the redundancy, but it's for less money, more hours, more responsibility. And actually that person looks at their future and what they really feel about their own value, and they go, actually, do you know what? No, I'm worth more than this. And so there's no guarantees at the end of the day. We all know that. But I just think it takes, a bit of courage and stamina and digging a bit deeper to, start up your own business at these challenging times, to be fair. I think more so than ever, really do. So that's my piece on sort of courage. I'm going to share 2 poems. Now, often I share all of my own poems, as a lot of people will know. But the first one is actually one that I found. I was looking through loads of stuff in the move and got rid of loads of stuff and found other stuff. And I came across this poem I'd had for a long time. And it just felt quite appropriate at the moment to share this one. It's by a guy called David Hubbard. It's called One Smile. and it was created April the 19th, 2013. Just burped then. Sorry, it's just struck me. The date. I hadn't even really thought about it then. So April the 19th. That's actually when my dad's birthday was. So it's called One Smile. A smile to one who's weary, the gift of friendly cheer. Care end a careworn, lonely path of regret and doubt and fear, and turn a lonely person onto the road of joy, the one they knew so long ago as a little girl or boy. How could a change like that be made by a single costless grin? The secret? It's all powerful. It's connection from within. What every person needs to know is that we're all the same, not single individuals, not players in a game, but happy, loving children who've simply lost their way and forgotten what it means to smile and brighten up the day. It doesn't cost a nickel, and this I promise true. The smile you plant today, my friend, will come 10 times to you, and the tired, sad recipient of the love you kindly show will pass it on to others, and therefore it will grow. That lost and lonely person will regain what they once lost. As the smiles come back, they'll gather strength, and this without a cost. That single smile goes on and on as joyfully it travels. 10 times 10 it multiplies, and a world of pain unravels. Who knows what person at wit's end will see the smile you start in the eyes of some dear stranger, and at that point take heart. Who knows what this small gesture can do as it expands around the world 100 times and throughout all the lands. To make the world a better place is in each person's power. Just show the love inside of you from now this very hour. I know you have it in you because it's what you are. A part of God alive, a source of joy, a star. For when you smile, you show that part that's in us, that's in us all. It's true. It reminds us that inside we're one. It can all begin with you. It doesn't matter who you are. You don't need a big name. Just show your lights and you will see how much we're all the same. And when this world returns at last to what it used to be, you'll know you played a vital part to make all people free. So that's One Smile by David Hubbard. I just thought that was really lovely. Now, I've got a poem that I created, slightly different kind, but interestingly it's called Connection, so there's still some piece about connection in it. So, connection. To have a kiss that feels like liquid, lingering, devouring, the nectar of honey being slowly drizzled onto the lips, tasting delicious. A sacred magical dance that embraces colour, to dazzle like fire and devour feeling velvet. To have a delicious cake to melt in the mouth, moist and delicious to the taste, lingering like champagne. To touch the porcelain-like face of your daughter, to celebrate the embrace and the warmth emanating in your body. Tasting the delicious melon, creating waves of sweet nectar, the taste buds having a party of wild abandonment, riding the waves until they come crashing in on the shore and breathe again once more. To be immersed in the colour and dazzle of golds, oranges, reds, the fire created in the belly, rippling out to the heart and soul, a driving force of energy that has a life form of its own, a life form that cannot be contained. Connecting back full circle to the kiss that feels like liquid, lingering, devouring, the nectar of honey being slowly drizzled onto the lips, tasting delicious. and that was called Connection. So guys, it is come to that time where some of you might look forward to it. I don't know. Some of you might go, oh, I'm off now. But this song came about because I was actually, for those of you who watched it, you'll probably know fairly quickly. I just sort of watched Jonathan Ross this week, and it was actually Billy Ocean who was singing on Jonathan Ross. I was quite impressed actually for his age. He's amazing voice still. It's always a bit sad, I find, you know, when somebody big icon, they're 70, 80 odd and they're singing live, and yeah, it's like, oh, okay, maybe, you know, it would have been good to have not continued. But no, I thought he was brilliant. And then there was one of these songs that just came out in the mix of the midst of what he was doing. And I just, you know, that moment where you go, oh yeah. And there's something, it's not always the words, sometimes it's something about the build of the sound that gets you. So this is one by Billy Ocean. Obviously I can't profess to sing as well as him, but I'm going to sing it anyway. So you ready, guys? Bum, bum, bum. Red lights spells danger, can't hold out much longer, 'cause red light means warning, can't hold out, I'm burning. No, no, you took my heart and turned me on, and now the danger sign is on. Never thought the day would come when I would feel alone without you. And now I'm like a child again, calling out his mama's name. You got me on a ball and chain, doing things that I don't wanna. Can't stop running to you, feel love coming through you. Girl, with you beside me, hold on, heaven got me. Red lights spells danger, can't hold us much longer, 'cause red lights means warning, can't hold us, I'm burning. Ba-da-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Red lights spells danger, can't hold out much longer, 'cause red lights means warning, can't hold out, I'm burning. I had my fun, I played around without a love to tie me down. I used to kiss and run, I never wanted love to catch me. I thought I had a heart of stone, but now I'm in the danger zone. I can feel the heat is on, soon the flames are gonna catch me. I can't stop running to you, feel love coming through you. Girl, with you beside me, hold on, heaven got me. Red lights spells danger, can't hold us much longer, 'cause red lights means warning, can't hold us, I'm burning. Red lights spells danger, can't hold us much longer, 'cause red lights means warning, can't hold us, I'm burning. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Red light spells danger, can't hold out much longer, 'cause red light means warning, can't hold out, I'm burning. Spells danger, can't hold out much longer. Thanks, Cal. Light means warning, can't hold out, I'm burning. No, 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 I had my fun, I played around without a love to tie me down. I always used to kiss and run, I never wanted love to catch me. I thought I had a heart of stone, but now I'm in the danger zone. I can feel the heat is on, soon the flames are gonna catch me. Can't stop running to you, feel love coming through you. Girl, with you beside me, hold on, get red lights spells danger, can't hold us much longer, 'cause red lights means warning, can't hold us, I'm burning. Red lights spells danger, can't hold us much longer, 'cause red lights means warning, can't hold us, I'm burning. Red lights spells danger, can't hold us much longer, 'cause red lights means warning, can't hold us, I'm burning. I was starting to laugh. Okay. Kelly's comments on the dancing is awful. I can't believe that for 1 minute. And then you put a ritual being bested. I swear I lost the plot of it. Oh, thank you, gorgeous. So guys, thank you. By the way, what I will say to you is, if you go on YouTube, right, there's lots of different versions. If you look at Billy Ocean, Red Light Spells Danger, the extended version, right, so it's got to be extended version, 1977. There's one where it's got lots and lots of different images. Now, say especially from, I would say, the sort of 70s. Now, they're not all politically correct, I am sure you'll understand that. But what I love about the clips to that video is that it's an era, and it's an era that, you know, it's come and it's gone. But I think sometimes, you know, when you go back and you look at images and pictures and it reminds you of certain things and you go, oh yeah, and it takes you to a place. That's what I think, particularly the extended version of the Red Light Spells Danger on YouTube, 1977, it says in brackets. So if you find it and you can see it, you'll know straight away. It's all the different images that are, as I said, yes, the beautiful people, so to speak. So guys, have the rest of a fantastic week, wonderful evening. Love you loads. Yeah, really feel really energized, really inspired. And yeah, sort of have a good week. I know it's getting darker, but you know what? Inside our minds and our hearts, it can always be light and hopeful, and that's the key piece. And as you said, Kelly, earlier on, you know, I was talking about how, especially specifically as a female, you know, you can feel about yourself and your body and so on. And I love when you were talking about the strength of inside and your soul and your heart, and I totally agree with that. And certainly, you know, what I've really hope and I've tried to encourage and instill in my daughter Katie is that it absolutely is that it's your heart, it's your inner strength that's really important. So thank you, Kelly. You love very much. You've made my Sunday. You've made my Sunday as well beautiful. Really means a lot to me actually when you come on. Probably more than you realise. So thank you, beautiful people, and I shall speak to you later. Okay, love you loads. Take care. Bye.